Alright, so why passive weapon abilities should make you want to switch from D&D to DC20. Weapons in 5e are mostly stat blocks with almost no mechanical identity. There is no incentive to pick a sword over an axe beyond damage dice or flavor. Most combat revolves around I attack again. Passive weapon variety, not a thing in 5e. Even classes like the champion fighter feel dry. There are so many abilities in a lot of the martial classes where you're sitting there and you're choosing, you get the ability to choose additional weapons to be proficient in, and I've always been like, why? Why do I need to be proficient in it? That it just never made sense. Like, it never made sense to me to focus on that. Even Baldur's Gate 3 saw like weapons and decided to give them a little variety. In Baldur's Gate 3, when you are proficient in a weapon and when you're wielding that weapon, it usually has some sort of benefit. Like I think the rapier has piercing strike, or the spear has piercing strike, and it's just one of those things that one time per combat you can use that ability. But other than that, that's pretty much it. That was the most creative they seem to get with it in D&D. But it's not really where we want weapons to feel like. Some have special abilities like the net and whatever. But what if every weapon had a special passive ability? And that is where DC20 comes in. Baldur's Gate 3 gave D&D weapons the love they never had. DC20 made it canon. So, DC20 passive weapon ability is the real game changer. I'll keep it posted, in the sidebar, a quick little highlight of what those, weapon abilities are, weapon styles are. But these abilities are baked in. They're not feats. They're not subclass features. Every martial character has weapon proficiency in all weapons, and they get use of these weapon styles as long as they're wielding them. It encourages players to think, can I apply a condition first and then strike? It's synergistic. Your maneuvers set up your weapon's bonus. So if I have the maneuver, which can potentially cause a target to bleed, and I'm wielding a great axe, which can cause extra damage on a bleeding character, then yeah, I'm gonna attack first, use a stamina point in order to set up a maneuver, in order to make them make a physical save and see if I can cause them bleed. And if they fail, you know what? I'm going to attack again. I'm going to use another action point to give myself advantage, and I'm going to use one more action point to give one more extra tick of power. And then if I hit them, not only will I deal my point of damage for my weapon, if two-handed, maybe two, the power, and then the extra one for the bleeding condition. And on the start of their turn, if no one heals them, guess what? They're going to take another point of damage for the bleeding condition. So in DC20, your weapon is smart. It sees the weakness and strikes where it hurts, which is exactly what we want our weapons to do. Why does this matter for martial characters? Well, passive weapon bonuses make every attack meaningful. You're not just dealing damage, you're exploiting conditions. Martial characters feel tactical, not just tough. Spellcasters can't benefit from these effects, another tool that makes martials unique and what levels them up to get on that level of spellcasters, like I mentioned in my previous video. Magic gets fireballs, martials gets fangs, and in DC20, they bite hard. Oh, do they bite hard. So my key points, before I sign off, again, 5e gives weapons names, DC20 gives them purpose. Passive weapon abilities are simple, elegant, deadly, effective. And they don't replace your tactics, they reward them, which again, I know I'm going to have to do a video on tactics. It can be very scary for someone to hear about tactics, but everything in DC20 is intuitive. It's simple, it's logical, it's very easy to follow. And just like D&D, where you just don't know all the rules right off the bat, you're going to have the same problem in DC20, but at least it's more interesting. And I don't mean to hate on D&D. Again, I got started with D&D. It's got so much rich history. I know some people will never convert just because they're purists, even if there's a better game. But I'm just, there's so much to love about DC20, and they are working so very hard in order to make sure that DC20, you can't break it. It's easy to learn, it's easy to follow. If you've ever felt like your fighter was just swinging in air, DC20 shows you what martial mastery really looks like. This has been your daily dose of the Nerd Doctor. Stay clever, play smarter. Again, this seems to be the one I'm leaning on, but again, comments my sign-off tagline if you like. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and again, keep your eye out for more DC20 contents and links and materials, because I will be coming out with play maps, and I will be coming out with cards for conditions, for mirrors, so that you can have those tools at your table to make your organization that much better and easy to follow, because I love me a play map with a bunch of conditions on it. Again, thanks for listening, guys.